You're sitting at your desk on a Tuesday afternoon and you realize you're making more money than you ever thought you would. Your salary has climbed. Your title sounds impressive on LinkedIn. You've got the apartment that doesn't have mold in the corners. And yet somehow your bank account feels emptier than it did when you were making half this much. Your friends are having babies. Your colleagues are buying houses. Your parents keep asking when you're going to get serious about retirement. And somewhere between the promotions and the lifestyle creep and the endless subscription services, you've become completely broke. My name is Lenny, and today we're going to talk about the decade that's designed to wreck your financial future without you even realizing it's happening. Because your 30s aren't just another 10 years, they're the most dangerous decade for wealth that you'll ever experience. Not because you're making bad decisions, but because you're making normal decisions in a system that's specifically engineered to extract every dollar from you. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth that nobody actually tells you about your 30s. In your 20s, you had an excuse. You were young, you were building your career, you were supposed to be broke. Society doesn't expect 20-somethings to have their financial lives figured out. There's an implicit understanding that you're still learning, still earning entry-level salaries, still paying off student loans. Everyone is sympathetic to your financial struggles because they remember being there. But the moment you hit 30, something shifts. You're supposed to have it together now. You're supposed to be saving. You're supposed to have an emergency fund and a retirement account and a clear path to wealth. And if you don't, well, that's your fault for not getting your act together. The problem is that your 30s are simultaneously the easiest and the hardest decade to build wealth. It's easy because you're finally earning real money. You've climbed the career ladder enough to make a respectable salary. You're no longer earning entry-level wages. You've got experience, you've got skills, you can command a higher paycheck. For the first time in your life after taxes, you might actually have money left over at the end of the month. That's new, that's exhilarating. You look at that extra $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 and you think you're rich. And comparatively, you kind of are. But here's where it gets dangerous. Your 30s are also the decade where every single financial institution, marketing department, and social pressure in existence is designed to take that money away from you. Your student loans are still there, obviously. You probably graduated college with anywhere from $20,000 to $200,000 in debt, depending on where you went and what you studied. In your 20s, you were on income-based repayment plans, making minimum payments while the interest accrued. But now that you're in your 30s and your income has jumped, those monthly payments have increased significantly. Your student loan bill might have gone from $300 a month to $800 or even $1,200. That's money that's not going to retirement. That's money that's not going to savings. That's money that's going to a government entity to pay off debt from decisions you made when you were 22 years old. Meanwhile, you've got this newfound earning power, and suddenly everything feels possible. Your friends are buying houses. Your colleagues are getting engaged and planning weddings. Your coworkers with kids are bragging about their renovated kitchens. And your brain, which has been trained by culture and Instagram and everyone around you, starts doing that mental math. If they can do it, I can do it. I'm making good money now. I deserve nice things. I deserve to live in a nice apartment instead of that place with roommates. I deserve a car that doesn't require a mechanic visit every month. I deserve to go on vacations and eat at nice restaurants and maybe get engaged and plan a wedding. So you start spending money. Not irresponsibly. Necessarily, you're not buying jet skis or private planes. You're just living the life that people in their 30s are supposed to be living. You upgrade your apartment, your rent goes from $1,500 to $2,000 or $2,500 because you want natural light and a place where you can have people over and not be embarrassed. You buy a car because you've graduated from the secondhand Honda Civic and you want something reliable that makes you feel like an adult. That car payment is now $800 a month. You start eating better because you can afford organic groceries and restaurants that don't have fluorescent lighting. You get a gym membership at that nice place downtown instead of the sketchy one in the basement. You book a vacation to somewhere that isn't your parents' house. You finally upgrade your furniture from IKEA to actual real wood pieces. Your spending increases incrementally, gradually, almost invisibly. It's not one massive decision where you suddenly blow all your money. It's 1,000 small decisions where you choose the better option, the nicer thing, the more comfortable path. And each one individually seems reasonable. It seems affordable. It seems like something you've earned after years of being broke. It seems like the natural progression of life. But collectively, these decisions have a devastating effect on your financial future. Let me show you what this actually looks like in the numbers. Say you're in your 30s making $120,000 a year. That sounds great. That puts you solidly into the upper middle class. That's significantly more than the median income. You should be absolutely crushing it financially. Your gross income is $120,000. After taxes, FICA, and your basic health insurance, you're taking home roughly $7,500 per month. That's your actual money to live on. It sounds like a lot until you start allocating it. Your rent has climbed to $2,500 a month because you wanted a nicer place in a better neighborhood. That's 33% of your income already. Your car payment is $800. Your car insurance is $150. Gas and maintenance, another $250. Your student loans are $1,000 a month because your income has climbed high enough that the income-based repayment plan has adjusted upward. That's $4,200 already. You've got phone bill, internet, subscriptions you forgot about, $150 a month in streaming services because you've got 5 different apps, groceries, maybe $600 a month because you're shopping at better stores and eating better quality food, dining out, social activities because you're in your 30s and you have friends and a social life. Call that $800 a month because sometimes you're grabbing lunch with coworkers, sometimes you're having dinner with people you're dating, sometimes you're just tired and want someone else to cook for you. Gym membership is $70. Personal care, haircuts and clothing and things that make you look presentable at work, $100 a month. Medical expenses, co-pays and prescriptions and dental visits, $150 a month if you're being optimistic. You're now at roughly $6,100 a month in fixed and variable expenses. You've got $1,400 left over. That $1,400 is supposed to cover your emergency fund. It's supposed to cover unexpected car repairs and medical bills and the year where the dentist finds 3 cavities. It's supposed to cover gifts for your friends' weddings and showers and the birthday parties you're expected to attend. It's supposed to cover savings for a house down payment or for retirement, or for anything remotely resembling financial security. And if anything goes wrong, if you have a month where your car needs new tires, that's $600. Your emergency fund just took a hit. If you need a new computer for work because yours crashed, that's $800 if you're being economical. Again, going into your $1,400 buffer. If you want to take a week off for vacation, you're probably spending at least $1,000. If you get sick and miss work, your income dips and your buffer disappears entirely. But here's what actually happens in your 30s when you've got that $1,400 left over. You don't save it. You don't put it into an emergency fund or a retirement account. Instead, you spend it. You spend it because your brain is incredible at finding reasons why you need things right now. You spend it because there are 1,000 little wants that have been pent up since you were 25 and broke. You spend it because you see your friends spending it, and you want to feel like you're part of that world too. You spend it because you've been told your entire life that you deserve nice things, and now you finally have the money to get them. So your $1,400 a month gets distributed across 1,000 different purchases that individually seem small and reasonable, but collectively add up to preventing you from ever building any wealth. You become house poor without owning a house. You're living in an expensive apartment that's stretching your budget. You're driving a car that's eating up thousands of dollars a year. You're maintaining this lifestyle that looks successful from the outside, but feels financially precarious on the inside. And the most insidious part is that this is all completely normalized. Everyone you know is doing exactly the same thing. Your friends are all living in expensive apartments and driving nice cars and eating at good restaurants. Your coworkers are all going on vacations and updating their wardrobes and living what looks like a comfortable, successful lifestyle. So you don't feel poor, you feel normal. You feel like you're doing exactly what people in their 30s are supposed to be doing. The problem is that you're not actually building any wealth. You're just spending money slightly more slowly than you're earning it. Your net worth at 35 is barely higher than it was at 30. Your retirement account, if you have one, has maybe 30 or 40,000 in it. Your emergency fund, if you've managed to build one at all, is probably depleted. And you're starting to notice the cracks in the system. Your parents keep asking when you're going to buy a house, but you can't afford to save the down payment. Your friends are getting married and starting families, but you're worried about how you'd afford childcare on your salary. Your coworkers are talking about retiring early, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck despite making six figures. And you're starting to feel behind. You're starting to feel like you should have your life together more than you do. But the real problem isn't that you lack discipline. The real problem is that your 30s are specifically designed to be financially dangerous in a way that your 20s and 40s aren't. In your 20s, society gives you an excuse to be poor. Everyone expects you to be broke. There's no shame in it. No one is disappointed in you for not owning a house or having a fancy car, but in your 30s, there's a cultural expectation that you should be established. You should have your housing situation figured out. You should be thinking about long-term commitments like mortgages or marriages or children. You should be climbing the corporate ladder. You should be accumulating the trappings of adult success. And all of those things cost money. At the same time, you're finally earning real money for the first time in your life. You've got the income to support a nicer lifestyle. You've got the credit score to qualify for better loans. You've got the sense of stability that makes it feel okay to spend a little more freely. And the financial industry absolutely knows this about you. The marketing departments absolutely know this about you. They've got sophisticated data on spending patterns by age and income level. They know that people in their 30s are in this peculiar sweet spot where they've got enough money to spend but not enough financial discipline to resist. So they target you relentlessly. Credit card companies send you offers for cards with low introductory rates and high spending limits. Banks tell you that now is the time to buy a house because interest rates won't stay low forever. The car dealership tells you that you deserve a nicer vehicle because you work hard. The furniture stores offer 0% financing on bedroom sets. The airlines run ads about how travel is an investment in yourself and your experiences. The clothing brands send you emails about new collections specifically designed for the sophisticated adult. Everyone is selling you something, and they're all selling it based on the premise that you've earned it and you deserve it. And because you're in your 30s and you've spent your 20s being denied these things, you believe it. You feel like you've earned it. You feel like you deserve it. So you spend money. You upgrade to the nicer apartment. You get the newer car. You take the vacation. You buy the clothes and the furniture and the experiences, and it all feels fine while you're doing it. It feels like you're finally living the life you were supposed to be living, but you're also spending every dollar you make and sometimes more through credit card debt. Your net worth isn't growing. Your investments aren't compounding. The magic of compound interest, which would turn $3,000 of savings into $500,000 by the time you hit 65, never gets a chance to work because you never actually saved the $3,000. Instead, you spend it on experiences that fade and possessions that depreciate and a lifestyle that's fundamentally unsustainable. And here's the truly insidious part. Time is running out in a way that you don't really grasp yet. Your 20s felt infinite. You had all the time in the world to build wealth. You could afford to be broke and irresponsible because there were decades ahead of you to catch up. But your 30s are different. The math of retirement savings says that if you want to retire at 65, you need to start investing aggressively right now. If you wait until you're 40, your nest egg is mathematically smaller. If you wait until you're 45, you're in serious trouble. The power of compound interest only works if you start early. And your 30s are your last good chance to get started before the math becomes impossibly hard. But instead of using your earning power to invest for the future, you're using it to fund a lifestyle that doesn't make you happy and doesn't build any wealth. Let me tell you what this looks like in real life. Meet someone we'll call Marcus. He's 32 years old and he's making $130,000 a year. He's come a long way from the entry-level job he had at 26. He's got a title that impresses people at parties. He's got a nice apartment in a good neighborhood. He drives a Tesla because he got it on a great lease deal. He goes out with friends multiple times a week. He's dated seriously and spent thousands on dinners and trips and engagement experiences that didn't work out. He's been to 5 countries in the past 3 years. He looks successful. Everyone who knows Marcus thinks he's got his life together, but here's Marcus's actual financial situation. His gross income is $130,000, which nets him roughly $8,000 a month. His apartment is $2,800. His car lease is $600. His car insurance, gas, and maintenance are another $300. His student loans are $1,200 a month. His phone, internet, and subscriptions are $180. His groceries and dining out are $1,200 because he likes good food and eating well. His gym membership, personal care, and clothing are $300. His social activities and entertainment are $800 because he's actually social and he does things with his friends. His medical and miscellaneous expenses are $300. He's now at $8,180 in spending on an $8,000 income. He's negative $80 before accounting for any unexpected expense. His strategy is to put the rest on credit cards when something comes up. He's currently carrying $11,000 in credit card debt at an average interest rate of 19%. He's also got $38,000 in student loan debt. His emergency fund, what little he has, is about $2,000. His retirement account, which he's been contributing to because his employer matched for the first 5%, has $42,000 in it at age 32. He's got no savings for a house down payment. He's got no plan for what happens if he loses his job. He's one medical emergency or 1 month of reduced income away from a serious financial crisis, and yet he feels like he's doing well. He looks successful. He's living the life that he thinks he's supposed to be living. And here's the problem. Marcus isn't unusual. Marcus is completely normal. Marcus is the demographic that financial services companies target. He's young enough that he still has decades of earning potential. He's old enough that he's got real income to target. He's got just enough financial responsibility to have credit and borrowing power. He's got just enough of a lack of financial responsibility that he's spending everything he makes. He's the perfect customer for the financial extraction machine that modern capitalism has built, and he doesn't even know it's happening. In your 40s, if Marcus hasn't changed anything, he'll probably panic. He'll wake up one morning and realize that he's in his early 40s and he's got no savings and no house and no clear path to retirement. He'll start to get serious about his finances. He'll cut his spending. He'll put extra money toward his student loans and credit cards. He'll start saving for the first time in a meaningful way. But he'll be doing it from a position of weakness. He'll be trying to catch up. He'll be trying to build in 15 or 20 years what he should have been building in 30. The math gets exponentially harder. Every dollar he didn't invest in his 30s costs him $4 or $5 in lost compound growth in his 40s and 50s. But in your 30s, you don't see it yet. You think you've got time, you think you'll get serious about it next year. You think you'll cut your spending when you get older, or when you're settled down, or when you get your next raise. But next year comes, and you get a raise, and your spending increases to match it. You get into a relationship, and suddenly you're spending money on dates and shared experiences, and eventually maybe a wedding. You advance your career, and suddenly you're expected to dress a certain way and eat at certain restaurants and present yourself as a successful person, which means spending more money. And before you know it, you're 45 and you're in the exact same situation that Marcus is in now, just with slightly higher numbers and significantly less time to fix it. This is why your 30s are the most dangerous decade for wealth. It's because you've got just enough money to be dangerous, just enough social pressure to spend it, and just enough time remaining that you can still convince yourself that everything will work out later. You've got enough income that financial institutions are willing to extend you credit, and you're using that credit to finance a lifestyle you can't actually afford. You've got enough earning potential that you can rationalize the spending. You've got enough social proof that you can convince yourself it's normal. And you've got just enough time left in your career that you can tell yourself you'll catch up on retirement savings later. But compound interest doesn't care about your plans to catch up later. Compound interest only cares about starting early and investing consistently. If you invest $100 a month starting at 25, and that investment grows at 8% annually, you'll have roughly $2.1 million when you hit 65. If you wait until you're 35 to start investing that same $100 a month, you'll have roughly $960,000. If you wait until you're 45, you'll have $400,000. The difference between starting at 30 and starting at 40 is more than $500,000 in lost wealth. And that's assuming you ever start saving at all, which most people who spend all their income in their 30s never do. So how do you avoid becoming another casualty of the most dangerous decade? The first step is to actually understand your numbers, not just vaguely know that you make a certain amount and spend roughly that amount. You need to actually track your spending. You need to know where every dollar is going. You need to see the credit card charges for subscriptions you forgot about. You need to see how much you're actually spending on food when you factor in groceries and restaurants and coffee and the random takeout orders. You need to see how much you're spending on going out, because when you add up all the social activities and entertainment, it's probably $1,000 or more a month. You need to see that you're hemorrhaging money on lifestyle inflation. The second step is to recognize that you don't have to participate in the financial treadmill that everyone around you is on. You don't have to have the nice apartment in the expensive neighborhood. You don't have to have the fancy car. You don't have to be on the same vacation schedule as your friends or eating at the same restaurants or updating your wardrobe to the same degree. You can choose to have a different financial life than the people around you. You can choose to live below your means, and I know that sounds depressing or restrictive or like you're punishing yourself, but actually, it's the most freedom you can possibly have. If you choose to live on 70% of your income, then 30% is going to building your future. If that's $3,000 a month and you invest it from age 30 to age 65, you're going to have more than $2 million, assuming market average returns. That $2 million buys you freedom. That buys you the ability to leave a job you hate without instantly being in financial crisis. That buys you the ability to take time off if you want to. That buys you the ability to retire at 60 instead of 70. That buys you the ability to actually enjoy your 40s and 50s and 60s instead of scrambling to catch up financially, but you have to start in your 30s. You have to do it now. The third step is to actually build an emergency fund, not something you're going to build someday. An actual emergency fund that you start building this month and prioritize until you've got 6 months of expenses saved up. If you need that desperately, starting with 1 month of expenses is better than nothing. But you need a buffer. You need to break the cycle of spending everything you make and going into credit card debt when anything unexpected happens. This emergency fund doesn't go toward your house down payment. It doesn't go toward vacations or upgrades or nice things. It sits there in a separate account, and its entire purpose is to protect you from having to go into debt when life happens. The fourth step is to get serious about your retirement accounts. Your employer probably matches your contributions up to a certain percentage. If they do, you should be putting in at least that much. That's free money. It's the easiest possible way to start building wealth, and you're leaving it on the table. Beyond that, you should be putting money into a Roth IRA or a regular brokerage account and investing in low-cost index funds, not individual stocks that you read about on Reddit, not crypto that you're planning to get rich on. Just boring, steady, diversified index funds that earn about 8% per year on average. That might sound boring, but boring is how you actually get wealthy. Exciting is how you go broke. The fifth step is to make a conscious decision about your lifestyle. Where you want to live, what car you want to drive, how much you want to spend on entertainment and experiences. Make that decision consciously, intentionally, and make sure it aligns with your long-term financial goals. If you're going to live in an expensive apartment, you need to know that you're choosing that with full awareness of the trade-off it creates in your retirement savings. You're not being forced into it. You're not just defaulting into the lifestyle of your friends. You're making an actual choice. And if you're making that choice, you need to make it from a position of strength, not weakness. The harsh truth is that your 30s determine your financial future more than any other decade. The decisions you make right now, whether you're aware of them or not, are going to have massive consequences for the rest of your life. If you spend every dollar you make in your 30s, you're probably going to be stressed about money for the rest of your life. If you invest in your future in your 30s, you're probably going to have financial stability and freedom for the rest of your life. It's that simple. It's that stark. Your 30s are the most dangerous decade for wealth because they're the decade where you can still be saved. And most people choose not to be. So here's what I want you to do today. Actually sit down and look at your numbers, not vaguely. Specifically, write down every single expense you have, add them up, figure out exactly how much money is left over at the end of the month. And if there's nothing left over, figure out where it's going. Because I promise you, that money is going somewhere. It's going to subscriptions you forgot about. It's going to lifestyle choices that you've normalized. It's going to things that feel like they matter in the moment, but don't actually move your life in the direction you want to go. But you can only make that decision once you see the reality of your numbers. And that's where most people fail. They don't want to see it. They know it would be bad, so they just don't look. But you're going to be different. You're going to look at the numbers. You're going to understand where you are, and you're going to make a conscious decision about where you want to be. Because your 30s might be the most dangerous decade for wealth, but they're also the last decade where you can actually do something about it. After 40, the window starts closing. The math starts getting harder. The catch-up becomes significantly more difficult. You're going to understand where you are, and you're going to make a conscious decision about where you want to be. Because your 30s might be the most dangerous decade for wealth, but they're also the last decade where you can actually do something about it. After 40, the window starts closing. The math starts getting harder. The catch-up becomes significantly more difficult. So if there's a time to get serious about your financial future, it's right now. It's in your 30s. It's today. The question is whether you're actually going to do it or whether you're going to keep doing what you've always done and expecting different results. The choice is yours, but the clock is ticking.